Hey, this is attorney Steve Pfeiffer. I'm a local DUI attorney here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Also practice in Norfolk, Virginia pretty frequently. What I want to do today is I want to cover a few questions I'm asked very frequently that generally the population just doesn't understand or isn't aware of. The first question I'd like to address is, am I required to do field sobriety tests? I'm posed that question quite a bit, and the answer is simply no. You are not required to perform field sobriety tests. Now, there are some provisos and some exceptions to every single rule, and in this case, this is something you should know. If you are suspected of DUI or DWI and you refuse to perform field sobriety tests, there's a case in Virginia that states that the judge can consider that your refusal to do so as evidence of probable cause to arrest you. But when it comes to beyond a reasonable doubt, the final standard in which a judge weighs your guilt or innocence, it cannot be used against you. So why would you do a field sobriety test? Oftentimes, field sobriety tests can actually help individuals that are charged with DUI to prove they're not impaired. But likewise, they can also be a detriment. Those tests are not easy to perform, and there are many variables that go into them. So not telling you whether to take or not to take field sobriety tests, I can tell you unequivocally that you are not required to take them. There is no requirement under the law that makes you take field sobriety tests. The second question I'm asked very frequently is it still a DUI or DWI if I'm asleep in my car and the car is not moving? This is a very interesting area of the law that doesn't really follow common sense. In Virginia, the rule is that if you sit in the front seat in the driver's seat and you have the ability to take control of the vehicle, that can be considered operation. There's a long line of cases that talk about what operation is in Virginia. But moral of the story is that if you have been drinking and you want to sleep or rest in your car, you should not be sitting in the driver's seat. You should not have the key in the ignition whatsoever. If it's a push-start vehicle, you should have the keys as far away from you as humanly possible because you have the ability to start your vehicle if they're in your possession. So if you're making a good decision not to drive home because you've drank too much and you don't have an ability to get a ride, if you're going to rest in your car, make sure you don't do it in the driver's seat. Make sure you do not have your keys in the ignition, and make sure if you have a key fob, it's nowhere near you. The best bet, if you can't get a ride home or find somewhere safe to stay, is to sleep in the back seat and leave your keys away from the car. These are a couple questions that are brought up very frequently, and I wanted to address those, and I'm happy to field any questions. You can always reach me at 757-554-0258.